Say hi.
Hey everyone, this is the Overland Philosopher, aka the BROfessor, and you are live with Love4FJ on BROfessor and Friends. Hey everyone, and last minute, let me tell you how last minute this was. At about 10 o'clock this morning, I was chatting with Julianna, and I said, hey, I want to have you on the show. And she said, well, I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't know when I'm going to have good service, but I have good service now. And I said, oh, okay. Well, I actually have a free night, so why don't we come on and talk about things. Julianna, thank you for being on here with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And right now, you told me that you are at Estes Park, Colorado, sitting at about 9,000 feet out in the middle of beautiful. And we also have with us a special guest, Taffy.
This is Taffy.
Hey, Taffy. Welcome to the show. You're not the first dog that's been on here, but you're definitely one of the cutest. That is for sure. Well, just a little backstory on this. Julianna and I met on social media. Gosh, it's been a couple years probably. And I was working night shift. You were working night shift, and we would talk about what we were doing to our FJs. And you sent me a message. Hey, I saw you make that running water thing. How'd you do that? Yep. So I sent you that, and you made one and made a video of it, and we just kind of carried on conversations from there. And we followed each other and kept in touch. And so that's kind of how we met, through the FJ community, because that's kind of the way it is. It's a big, humongous community, and everybody who has one loves them. And so it was pretty neat. But I wanted to have you on here because you have a very interesting story that I want everybody to hear, and I think it's worth hearing. But tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from. Let us help us get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, so I was born and halfway raised in Arizona. I also grew up in Bend, Oregon as well. And that's kind of where I got my love of the outdoors, is because Bend is just gorgeous. You know, as a kid, I got to go mountain biking. I'd go explore my backyard, which was a forest. You know, I actually got lost as a kid once, mushroom hunting.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. That's a very long, interesting story. My poor mom was traumatized, which I see she's watching right now. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
But yeah, I've always kind of been adventurous. I've always loved the outdoors, and I've always been a real tomboy. You know, as a kid, I'd grow up catching frogs, and I used to catch scorpions and spiders and scare the heck out of my mom. And I've always kind of been drawn to the outdoors, and cars too, you know. So when I figured out you could add a car and nature together and go do this, it was like, what? This is amazing.
Yeah, who thought of that?
Right? Who thought we could do cars and outdoors at the same time?
Yeah. That's incredible. Well, it's a pretty neat story that you have, starting, I guess, way back from then. But tell us how you kind of got into the overlanding scene. Was it when you bought your FJ? Was that when you were introduced to it?
Yep. So I actually didn't know anything about 4x4. I was more into the imports. So I was originally a Honda girl. So I had a lot of Hondas back in the day. And actually, when I got the fjcruiser, the reason I got it wasn't because I knew it was a 4x4. I actually had no idea what an fjcruiser was when I saw it, when I got it. I've seen them before, but I had no idea what they actually were. The reason I bought it was because I wanted a bigger vehicle to carry more stuff for like if I'm moving or something. And I actually didn't even test drive it. So originally I was going to go look for a Honda Pilot. And the dealership
Mm-hmm.
that I went to that had the Honda Pilot had the FJ Cruiser. And I saw it and I was like, what is that thing? They're like, oh, that's a Toyota FJ Cruiser. I'm like, can I go sit in it? They're like, yeah, sure, why not? So I went and I sat in it and I was like, oh my God, where do I sign?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't
It's
even test
amazing.
drive it.
We kind of have the same story. We were walking along. I was there looking for a Tacoma, and my wife saw the FJ, and she said, "What is that?" And I said, I remember in 2007 when those first came out, and seeing them sit at the dealership, thinking I'll never be able to afford one of those. And here I am, 10 years later, and she saw that when she rode in it, she's like, "Oh, we got to have this. We got to have this. This is cool."
Oh
And
yeah.
we ended up taking it home, and thank God I didn't buy that truck I went after. It was horrible. But that's just one of the things that just kind of draws you in, and the vehicle becomes as much of you as you become part of it. So it's a good marriage to have. Now it was last year that COVID hit. I don't know if everybody knows, but we've got this thing called COVID going on, and we've had it going on for a little over a year. But if you've been in a hole or something, but when COVID hit, it affected your job, and your job where you worked forced you to make a decision about going into a certain shift or something that you weren't really comfortable with, which ended up being the reason why you went full time. Tell us about how all that went down. That was a really stressful time in your life, I know.
Yeah, so I actually got to work through most of COVID. It's when it started dying down that they realized, well, we made too much product because they weren't an elective surgery. So they were just constantly making more and more product and
Mm-hmm.
stacking the shelves more and more and more. And so they realized, well, we can't have second and first shift. We can only have the first shift. So they
Mm.
said, second shift is going to be eliminated entirely. And the people that we can fit in are going to go to the first shift. And then the people that can't, then they can't. So I was told if you want, you can do first shift. But I have always been a night shift person.
Mm-hmm.
And just the thought of going to day shift was going to be difficult too, because where I was living, I was already driving a very, very long distance to get to work, an hour
Mm-hmm.
one way. With moving to day shift, it would cause me to have a lot more traffic and a lot more drive time. I would have ended up probably driving 2 hours to work and 2 hours back. And to
Mm.
me, that wasn't going to make sense. Plus the fact that I would be super tired because I wasn't used to waking up at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning time. And it hit me at a wrong time because when that happened as well, there had been deaths in my family too. On top of that, my roommate also passed away from cancer. So there was so much stress going on with my life. And then to have the job thing thrown at me, it was just like, ah, you
Too
know?
much.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was too much. So I just it was like the universe is giving me a choice right now. It's telling me you can stick to your job, but are you really happy? Is that
Mm.
really what you want to do? And so it kind of just kicked me in the butt and was like, you're young and now is the time because anything could happen. And I just kind of was like, you know what? I've talked about living in the FJ before. You can ask multiple of my friends. I've said
Mm-hmm.
many times I would love to live full time in my FJ.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, now's the chance, now or never. And I took a leap of faith, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you regret any decision that you made during that time?
The only decision that I regret is that my FJ was not entirely ready to go. It had a lot of suspension issues.
Mm.
And now that I'm actually driving it almost every single day and living in it, it's causing it to fail a lot faster. So I wish I would have been able to fix it before I hit the road, but I really didn't have time or even the funds to do that. It was either save for gas money or fix the FJ. And it was kind of like, well, I guess I'll try to fix it while I'm on the road. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know. You put out a post about your job kind of forcing you to make this decision. You asked for friends out there in the community to give you advice and to try to help you with this decision. And I was actually shocked at the decision that you made. And I was very supportive and said, go for it. Live your dreams. You're young. Try. Don't do anything or not do anything that you're going to regret later. And so I think you going forth and doing it while you can will have less regrets than you sticking there and still doing the 9 to 5 and suffering through that. And then later on you saying, I should have made the other decision. So I think you, I think you made the right choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you definitely made the right choice. Well, I want to talk about your FJ and the things that you've done to it. And just so everybody knows, in case the connection is not bad or Julianna gets distracted or something, she is in the middle of nowhere by herself with her guard dog. So, in case something comes up that she needs to check out or something, we may have to talk amongst ourselves for a minute. But before we talk about your rig, you got somebody coming up on you?
Yeah. She's gonna start barking.
Uh-oh. Well, while she does that, we're going to pause for station identification. Stand by.
Hey guys, it's Chris from More Expo.
Aaron with Switchback Outdoor Safe.
Rhino from Rhino Belt Rod and Custom.
Hey,
Jeff with Bad Act Adventure Co. Jeremiah from Overland Pioneer.
I'm Chef West.
hey,
It's Adam at Step 22 Gear.
Jordan from Anytime Overland.
I'm Bruiser.
Walker from Autotronics in West Virginia.
Hey, this is Aaron from Artemis.
I'm Tyler with Yoda Adventure.
And you're watching.
And you're listening and watching.
You're listening to.
You're watching the BROfessor.
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 BROfessor and Friends.
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 Enjoy.
And I want to thank Artemis Overland, Action Tracks, Linson Solar, More Expo, and Blue Cell Coffee for sponsoring the show and make sure it happens every week. Thank you so much for doing that. So, Julianna, what have you done to your FJ to make it overlanding ready?
Rooftop tent, of course.
Okay. And that is the
That's the alu cap. So
alu
fun
cap.
story, actually. So when I went to the expo, the one that was in Colorado just recently, one of the main guys, Rin from OK Four Wheel Drive, actually saw my alu cab across the way, and he said, "Oh, I have to go see that person because I have one of the very first-ish alu cabs that they had." So my serial number is like 200 something. And they said they're almost like in the 6,000s, I think is what they said, or something like
that's
that.
Awesome. Yeah,
so,
that's cool.
They were shocked because normally the first gens, the fabric would fray a little bit. Mine is still in really good condition, and I live in it. So they were like, "How the heck?"
That's cool. That's cool. What about?
There is one thing that's wrong with it. I'll show you. But it's typical because it wears out all the time. So I have it tied up with a vice grip. Why? Because the strut failed.
Oh, the struts. Yeah, I'm having that same issue myself.
Yeah. But other than like what I did for getting it overland ready, so I've got a dual battery, I've got a fridge, a Dometic fridge, I did a little platform in the back. And also I did those little baskets that you did. So those inspired me. I was like, oh my gosh, those are so smart. I want to do those.
Yeah, those are shower caddies that we found that will suction cup to the windshield or to the window, and they are awesome. They do not move.
No, they're fully loaded too. These things are heavy. Got my spices in here when I cook. And I have a little table that I made too, which is really cool. And you can see my YouTube video on this.
Yeah.
But it folds out because I wanted a table that's big, but only takes up the space of 2 sections. So it actually folds out into a double table.
Awesome. Uh-oh. She may lock up on me. Maybe she'll come back.
That is other two.
Here she is. All right. So is that your kitchen back there in the back?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you what do you do for food? Everybody always wants to know, how in the world do you eat? What do you eat?
So for breakfast, it's pretty simple. I normally will do apples and peanut butter, or I will do a milkshake kind of protein, whatever. And I've got a I've got a USB powered little tiny blender that I use. Taffy.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, that's normally what breakfast is. Apple, peanut butter, or smoothie. And then lunch, I do either a cucumber salad, or I do a normal salad, or I do cream cheese turkey rolls for lunch.
Mm.
And then dinner, I have my 2 favorites that I normally do for dinner. So I do a Asian rice mixture that has, well, it has Spam in it, and then it has some veggies like mushroom, zucchini, or I do Alfredo. I like Alfredo. But so mine's a little bit unique because I eat gluten-free, dairy-free, almond-free, egg-free, and soy-free.
Holy cow. Is there anything left?
Not a lot, no.
Not a lot. Yeah. Are you doing that because of allergies or by choice?
So in the beginning, I was doing it because of allergies. I was trying to eliminate what was causing stomach issues because I had horrible stomach issues. I still do, even though I'm eliminating a lot of stuff. But now I kind of stick to it because I feel better when I'm on that diet. And I've noticed that when I'm on that diet, I feel lighter. I know it's weird to say, but a lot of that, the vegan food or the dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, it's a lighter taste. So you don't feel as heavy after you eat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more healthy tasting. So I've kind of stuck to it.
Yeah. Well, overlanding encompasses a whole lot of different things. Are there any other hobbies in your overlanding lifestyle that you like to do, whether it's hiking, fishing, kayaking, anything like that?
So I do like mushroom picking. I do certain mushrooms, though. I don't do like all of them, but I do morels. If people know what morels are, they're a very yummy tasting mushroom.
They're so good. They're like gold too.
They're so good, and they're really hard to find. But when you find them, it's like, ah!
That is correct. That is correct.
And then I just started getting into paddleboarding. So our Overland Life and Badass Burnett got me into paddleboarding when I hung out with them in Montana. So I was like, okay, now I need a paddleboard.
I've been, we found some inflatable paddleboards that are really nice. And I think that we would have room to pack one. So we've been definitely looking into those. Those are really neat.
Oh, yeah. My paddleboard basically takes the spot where a person would be sitting.
Oh, okay. So do you consider? Yeah. Do you consider yourself somebody who enjoys exploring, camping, or off-roading? Which of those are your favorite?
All of the above.
Okay. All right. Well, I've noticed in a lot of your photos, you really like doing the off-road and you really challenge your rig. The FJs are very capable rigs. So if you haven't seen some of her photos, we had some of those in the intro, but you can tell in some of these that you really like this one, you really like to challenge the rig. You went out there in Snowmageddon 2021
Oh, yeah.
and really got out there and tested your rig. But you have been to so many very cool places. Oh yeah, I see the mark badges of honor on there. So you were telling me about the name of your rig.
Look at this.
And how it got its name. Tell us about that.
So his name is Rec, REC. And the reason that his name is Rec is actually a couple reasons. One, it's my recreational vehicle. Two, most of the stuff on it is actually recycled. So like the bumper is used, the rooftop tent is used, the lights are discounted, they're discontinued, so they had them on for like a really crazy sale. Even the wheels are used, the suspension was used, a lot of things was used on it.
Yeah.
So he's a recycle bin as well. So that's what the wreck was too. But
Good.
Also, I've wrecked him multiple times. So I was like, you know what? Rec is a good name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's try not to wreck it anymore. How about that?
I'll try not to. No guarantees.
So in your overlanding, since you've been doing this full time, what's your favorite part about doing it full time?
The freedom. No, my favorite part is just being able to be out here and being able to see things and just not having to worry too much about stuff. I mean, I still have to worry about like people or animals, but just it's more freeing, it's more relaxing. Taffy's barking because there's people talking across the way.
Oh, okay. Well, she is definitely a guard dog. And while we're talking about that, I know you've had at least one time where you've gotten pretty scared. Have you gotten scared a lot of times while you're out?
There's only been a couple times where it was pretty scary. One of them was when I definitely heard a cougar in the middle of the night, and they make the weirdest noises, just horrible, dead, like they sound like they're dying, screeching, cat-like meow thingies, and it's eerie to hear that. Mosquitoes are starting to come out, but
yeah.
The other really kind of scary time was when I was the mosquito keeps coming at me. When I was camping with my friend Shannon, FJ Edgar, and this car just was coming along the road and it honked at first. And this was nighttime. This was around 11 or 12 o'clock at night. And the car drives up and it honks at first. And we're like, okay, is it trying to find somebody? But then it pulls up to like right before our camp spot and it stops. And then it turns its lights off. And that freaked me out because I'm like, okay, they're taking away my ability to be able to see them. They're taking my vision away by shutting the lights off because it went complete pitch dark. So I told Shannon, get in your car, duck down, and let's just wait and see what happens. So we got in our cars, we ducked down. I kind of got out and was like trying to listen to hear and see if I could hear if they were saying anything. But they ended up just walking a little bit, going back in their car, and then driving past us. It was just weird because it's like they pulled up to our camp spot, turned the lights off, and then started walking towards us. That's terrifying.
Yeah. You never know what people are going to do these days. So I can definitely, I've had that before where side-by-sides have come into our camp and sped off and shot guns and did a whole bunch of stuff. And, that's not cool. So, if you're out there and you're listening, spread the word that that's not cool. And you should already know that that's not cool. But what's the least favorite thing about living full time in your FJ?
I need a better storage system and a better refrigerator system because I have a small fridge, so it's just a single fridge. So I would be able, if I had a dual fridge, I could prep food and have them frozen. But also it's the fact that when you try to find your food in that fridge, you have to dig for it. So
Yeah.
if you want one tiny thing, you got to dig all the way to the bottom to get that.
Yeah.
But the other thing is bathrooms.
I
So
can't imagine. Bathroom shower situation is always one that comes up.
yes. So I have like that little shower tent that works as a bathroom as well. Where is it? There. I have that little thing, that works for the most part. At least it's a covered area, but showers definitely. There's times where it's like, so am I going to go into this freezing cold river, or am I just going to sink a few more days?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get that. Totally get that. So that's always an issue. Always an issue. Now you are very active on social media, and you've really pressed your YouTube channel here lately. And for those who don't know, you can find Julianna at Love4FJ on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So look her up. She has a lot of good content. So are you finding that you're able to do the social media, the YouTube stuff, and it not affect your love for the outdoors and overlanding like you've had?
It's a double-edged sword. So there are times where it's like, man, I really wish I recorded that because that would have been really good content. But at the same time, it's like when you're in those moments, you're in those moments.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about, oh, I need to record this, or, oh, I should record this. You're just in those moments. Like setting up camp. A lot of people ask me, do a video of you setting up camp, or do a video of you cooking, or, show your day to day. And it's like, to me, it's my every day to day. So for me, I don't think of, oh, I should record this. I think of, this is my normal life.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard at times. But then at other times, it's like, okay, I really do want to share this with people.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. And it's good that you still feel that you get in those moments. You haven't lost that trying to put content out there, which, a lot of people, it is a double-edged sword, because a lot of people that have gone full-time have to put content out there, or they're not making any income, and they're not making followers. If you don't make followers, you don't make income. And so that is a double-edged sword for a lot of people. And I think a lot of them have lost that love and the original reason why they do it in the first place, is to just get out there and find that freedom and that relaxation that you're able to experience every single day. So it's good that you still have those moments. What are some of your favorite adventures that you've been on since you've started?
Oh, geez. I mean, that's really hard. Every adventure is my favorite because every adventure is new to me. And the people that I get to meet, the places that I get to see. I mean, if I had to choose one at this very moment, I would have to choose two. So one was Montana with my friends, our Overland Life and Badass Burnett. They're really cool people. They make it feel like home. Leaving them, it was like leaving my family. I didn't want to leave them. But then I got to go to Ouray. I'm probably saying that wrong. And I'm terrified of cliffs, like terrified.
That's not a good place to go if you don't like cliffs.
And it's on a cliff. And I'm riding with bad suspension. So not only do I have bad ball joints, bad struts, and bad springs, so I'm going on these. Ooh, there's a really sexy wheeler coming up here. Look at this. It's going to come by. Watch this. Ready for it? It's a Toyota too.
Uh-oh. Well, they're going slow because they're looking at your stuff.
I think they're going to look at it. Hi.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that badass?
Yeah, it looks like a rock crawler and a half right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
See, I want one of those.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I want to crawl in one of those. Hi. Good. How are you? That's Taffy. She won't attack you. She's super nice.
I was just driving by. I thought I'd say hi.
Yeah. I mean, you're welcome to come hang out too later in the day or whatever. Are you camped up that way?
Yeah, I'm camped up.
Nice.
We'll go cook some dinner and crash. I'm archery hunting up here. So.
Oh, cool. What are you hunting for?
Elk.
Elk. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot here.
Yeah, gotta find them.
Yeah. Because you got to go for like weeks in order to find an elk normally, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though. Well, I hope you get some.
Yeah. I hope you have a good time up here.
Yeah, I will.
Talking to you.
Let me know if you get some elk.
All right. I'll hook you up with some backstrap.
Ah, sweet. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Bye.
Wow. Well, that was cool.
That rig
That
right
was
there.
cool.
I want it.
That's really nice.
Straight axle, Toyota, full roll,
Mhm.
everything.
Out there archery hunting for some elk. Never know who you might run into. Well, Jamie Handel's on here. She says, hey. Kathy Flanagan says, hey. So thank y'all for joining us and appreciate you being on the show. That's the first time we've ever had anybody pull into camp while we've been on a live show. So that, you know, there's first time for everything. What is your favorite part of the country so far?
Favorite part of Colorado?
Your favorite part of the United States that you've been in so far?
Oh, the favorite part of the United States?
Yeah.
My. I don't know.
Like
That's because
are you a mountains girl or a beach girl?
I'm a mountains girl, definitely. Because I love lakes and I love trees and I love views. I don't love cliffs as much, but they're pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love just all the views that you have in mountains. Whereas, I mean, a beach is nice, but it's a beach to me. It's just flat and then ocean.
Right.
Whereas you have mountains and you have all these gorgeous, amazing things that you can see in the mountains and stuff.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Technical trails.
Yeah. So what are your upcoming plans for travel? Tell us where you're going.
So I'll be going through Utah, headed on my way to the Flagstaff Expo. So I'll be going to the expo in Flagstaff, which is at the end of this month. I think it's the 24th, 25th, and 26th. And then after that, I'm probably going to go to the Panhandle, which is up in Sandpoint, Idaho. Although it's a long push for both of those because it's all the way on the top of Idaho. So that'll be interesting.
That's a long ways.
Yeah.
That's I think, you know, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, but the BROfessor knows that Idaho is one of the most underrated states in the whole United States. It is, but don't tell anybody that because when I go, I don't want anybody else to be there. But I think it's the most underrated state. It is beautiful. The mountains that are there are so beautiful, but it doesn't seem like anybody goes there. And so I think it's I think it'll be great, and you'll definitely love that area. But that's a long trek up there. I mean, it seems like that little tip of Idaho just goes up forever, all the way. It's just forever up there. So that'll be fun.
Because it's on the border of Canada, so there's going to be grizzly bears.
Oh, nice. Good thing you're living upstairs.
Woo!
So tell me, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? What have you made long range plans?
Not really.
No.
I'm kind of just I go with the flow. I live day to day. I try not to plan because I overthink when I plan. So I kind of just try to go with the flow and let things happen as they happen. Although if I had to make a plan, I would love to have an ambulance build and be able to tow the FJ and modify the FJ to be an off-roader. So I would want to have the ambulance be my overlander house space and then go trails in the fjcruiser. If I had a goal, I would probably put one of those into the goal because I want to be able to live full time on the road all the time. You know, I don't want to be in a house. I don't want to be tied down like that. I like being free. And
so you don't see yourself ever going back to domesticated living?
I don't see myself, but if it happens, it happens. But I would prefer to stay out here if I could.
Yeah. I totally get it. There are way more people that are dreaming of living the life that you have than there are people that living the life that you have that want to settle down. It's just because there's like you described, there's an unlimited amount of freedom. You get to go and do as you want and see all the places that you've never seen before. So what are some places on your bucket list that you've never been that you want to visit in the near future?
More of Colorado for sure. I want to see more of Montana. I want to see Idaho, more of Idaho.
Yeah.
Definitely Utah, because I've never been to Utah either. So seeing a lot of that would be cool as well. And then anywhere else, as a kid, I've always wanted to go to Vermont. So maybe try to go to Vermont, because I always saw pictures as a kid and it looked beautiful. So
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I know that the mosquitoes are coming out. I know you and Taffy are probably getting cold. So I want to, just tell everybody, please, if you have time, go look up Love4FJ on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Subscribe, like, do whatever you can. Are there ways out there that people can support you? We need to put that out there.
I do have patches that I sale, which are on my website, which is easy to find. It's www.love4fj.com, the number 4. And that would help support me too. And there is a link as well. If people want to donate on Cash App, they can do that as well. But also the biggest support would be YouTube, because if I continue to do YouTube and it takes off, that would be awesome to be able to do, because I love sharing my story and I love making videos when I actually do record.
Yeah.
I love sharing my story. So if people want to follow along, that would be awesome.
That's cool. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come on here and visit with us. Don't go anywhere. When we end everything, I want to say bye to you. But for everybody else, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you watching. We're going to share this. And if you would share this and tell everybody how that they can go and support Julianna in her quest for ultimate adventure. So as you go through this week, make sure that you look out for number 1 and don't step in number 2. Thanks for joining us.
Dance, baby, don't stop.
Thank you for watching.
BROfessor.
BROfessor
BROfessor and friends.
sponsored by